Have you ever noticed that the more intelligent you become with money, the more complicated life feels? Not easier? Every new app, every new strategy, every advanced piece of advice makes you feel like you are getting closer, while in reality, you are drifting further away. This is not a coincidence, but one of the most dangerous ideas revealed in The Simple Path to Investing Wealth. That complexity in the world of money is not a sign of depth, but often the trap itself. Because when you believe that investing requires genius, you delay starting, and when you delay, you lose the only thing that can never be replaced: time. And here, the real idea begins. The book does not ask you, how do you become rich? It asks a much deeper question. How much does it cost you to be free? This is the turning point, because most people link money to consumption. A bigger house, a newer car, a life that looks better from the outside. But the author completely flips the equation and tells you real money is not what you spend, but what gives you the ability to say no without fear. No to a job that drains you. No to a life that does not resemble you. No to decisions that were imposed on you. This is what is called freedom money. And the shocking paradox is that it does not require complexity, but requires the exact opposite of what you have been taught. Because the modern financial system does not profit when you understand. It profits when you feel like you don't, when you rely on the expert, when you believe there is a hidden, complex secret you don't know. But the truth is painfully simple. You don't need to pick the winner. You just need to stop trying to predict. The core idea of the book's philosophy is that the market, despite all its fluctuations, grows. Not because it is intelligent, but because the world itself is growing. Companies evolve, technology advances, economies expand, and when you try to pick just one piece of that growth, you are gambling. But when you own a part of the whole, you are participating. And here appears one of the deepest psychological truths in investing. Humans are naturally distrustful of simplicity. We associate value with difficulty. We believe that what is simple cannot be powerful. So we abandon the obvious path and search for something smarter. But the market does not reward intelligence. The market rewards discipline. And this is the real trap. You might be smart enough to understand everything, but not patient enough to benefit from anything. That is why the book sets an uncomfortable but honest rule. Your biggest enemy on your financial journey is not ignorance. It is your own behavior. Fear when the market drops. Greed when it rises. The urge to change. Just because you feel bored. And here comes the role of simplicity. Not as a strategy, but as psychological protection. When you build a simple system, you are not only reducing risk, you are reducing the chances of destroying everything through emotional decisions. And over time, something strange starts to happen. At first, you see no results. It feels slow, maybe even insufficient. But in the background, something is forming, very quietly. Compound interest, not just growth, but acceleration of growth. In the early years, it feels insignificant. But in reality, it is the foundation that carries everything that comes after. Then, suddenly, the numbers start to change. But more importantly, you start to change. You reach a moment only those who lived it can understand. The moment you realize you are no longer forced, and only here. You understand the meaning of freedom money, not because it made you rich, but because it gave you back control. Your life is no longer tied to a salary, nor a manager's decision, nor the fear of tomorrow. This is the essence of the idea. Freedom does not come from big leaps, but from small decisions, repeated for years. And in the end, after all this journey, you will not remember the technical details, nor the numbers, nor even the mistakes. You will remember only one moment, The moment you stopped searching for the complex path and chose to trust the simple one. Because the truth that does not sound exciting, but changes everything, is that the simplest paths are the hardest to stay on. But they are the only ones that last until the end. The journey toward this understanding is not fast, and it is not easy. But strangely, those who begin to see it can never go back again. That is why there will always be those who choose this path, not because it is guaranteed, but because it is real. And those who walk it together do not just shorten the distance, they understand the path on a much deeper level.